slicks on a damp, wet track like this can be a nightmare.
They call him the Lion. And boy, look at him as he takes this gamble, trying to keep his points dominance in the PPG IndyCar World Series. With his pole, he moved to 4 points ahead. But now he wants to do everything he can to close on Fittipaldi and come away still as the points leader in this series.
And he daren't get offline here, because as long as he can stay on that relatively dry patch, he will be okay. But when he comes to make a pass on somebody, he has to move offline. Now on the front straight here, it's no problem. But watch how slick it will be when he gets into the festival curves here and he goes onto the concrete patch. Oh, real ginger, real slow, nice and delicate.
Even if Nigel can maintain his current position, he could leave this track with a 13-point lead in the points fight. But of course, he would like to come up and take the lead of the race itself. And look at here, slick tires for Bobby Rahal.
More slicks. The two men that took the gamble earlier are the two men that are going back to the reverse gamble here, hoping this track will dry. Remember, Rahal said the reason. Oh, what was that? Robbie Gordon had something fly up right across his visor. Now it's stuck in the rear wing. It looks like some tissue paper or something they probably used to wipe his visor, and it blew right up in front of his face. Here it is again. Look at this. It's in the cockpit. Tap it right up in front of his face. Japers, look, you weren't on the way into the braking zone there, Robbie. That'll stop the old heart.
No time to read that right now. I'll check it out a little bit later.
Yeah.
Emerson Fittipaldi in front. Tracy is second, 20 seconds. No, much further behind. Almost a full 60 seconds behind. Mansell is third. They have the equipment laid out for fourth place. Mario Andretti. Al Unser Jr. runs in fifth place. Then Bobby Rahal, Mike Groff, Raul Boesel, Robbie Gordon, Ari Luyendyk. Further down, 11, Scott Goodyear, Jimmy Vasser, Hiro Matsushita, Olivier Griard, and Scott Brayton in 15.
Well, 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 what have we got here? Mansell on slicks. Looks as if he is catching Emerson easily. So now he may force Fittipaldi's hand, because if he thinks Mansell is that much faster on slicks, that may force him into the pit to get slicks also. Look at this, Mansell is way quicker than Emerson.
Let's keep an eye on Fittipaldi. His team is prepared to move him onto slicks. If he would like to come in next time around, there they are. The Penske team has the tires in hand. He wants to hold Mansell off if he can, but I'm not so sure he can do that.
He's going to force his hand. If Emerson thinks he can stay out for 12 more laps and Mansell will not make up all that time, he might take the gamble. If he thinks Mansell's going to chew him up, oh, he's going to go to the pit lane right now. Forget it. He knows Mansell is too fast on slicks. He's got to match him, get on those dry weather tires.
Fittipaldi saw the challenge and accepted it, and now Jan Vikas is there to watch the chain.
Emerson Fittipaldi brings it in. He's got to be careful of the yellow lines as he comes across. They're very slick. Now remember, when he gets out of here, he's got to be careful of the pit speed violations. But where he's located, he's actually past the gun. So he shouldn't have a problem there. The dry tires are on. They didn't need much fuel. Wheel spin, gets a little bit sideways, and he's off.
Yeah, you know who's going to fall foul to this gamble by everybody else? Paul Tracy. Running second, and a very good second, elected not to change tires at all. So now he may be forced to make a pit stop. He is only 12 seconds ahead of Nigel Mansell.
Mario Andretti, fourth place, is hit, Gary.
And this other member of the Newman Haas team is going for fuel only. He is going to stay on the wet tires. They're not changing, so they get enough fuel. He's gone in under 11 seconds.
Are we then seeing, Derek, a tactic by these two teams where they each elect to keep one car on dry and one on wet, or is that a driver decision?
Well, I would have thought it was a driver decision, but I mean, that's an interesting point there, that team cars go with a foot in each camp. But I can only say that...
St. James off.
Yeah, you see Lynn St. James. I don't think she's kept the engine running here. That's the festival curves. But I can't understand if Mansell was running that much faster than Emerson, why they wouldn't put Mario onto slicks. Unless, of course, it may rain again. Look outside the booth here. It looks clear, and the track certainly looks as if it's drying. Certainly not getting any wetter.
Drying very quickly, in fact. In fact, almost totally dry in some areas. Lynn St. James was able to get restarted. Mike Groff turns into the pits, where he will pick up, possibly move over to the dry tires as well. And the front straightaway, for the most part, is very dry. The last lap by Mansell turned at 106 miles an hour. He was averaging laps only at 87 miles an hour prior to that. So this track is drying, and it is getting very fast and doing so quickly. And because of that, the front of the field is beginning to close up. Fittipaldi is the leader, followed by Paul Tracy, and then Nigel Mansell. So the battle continues now. 90 laps are complete at Portland. 102 laps scheduled to do. The twin yellow flags at the starter stand tell the drivers, along with yellow flags standing at every corner, that they are going to full course yellow. That means that everyone slows down. The pace car will come out.
And you can see that Mansell did get up to and pass Paul Tracy. Watch what happens here. This was just a couple of minutes ago. Tries to pass Vassar, almost gets off the road, waves his fist. Mario goes by, and Paul Tracy is now right up behind.
Hiro Matsushita is sitting off the edge of the race course. So is Scott Brayton. That's the reason for the full course yellow. Now, what that's going to do is close up the front three cars, Fittipaldi, Mansell, and Paul Tracy. When Mario came by, that was just a move to try to get back on the lap. Here comes Paul Tracy into the pits. Jan Vikas waits for him.
Paul Tracy is in his way to the pits. Right behind him, we had Allenser Jr., who also came in. He came in before to pick up fuel, and he didn't change tires. He was back 2 laps later to get the dry tires. Now Paul Tracy is one of the last people to come in. We talked about it was not really his fault. It was that he happened to come in first. He got out of sequence. Now Paul Tracy, like all the front runners, are out on slicks.
Paul Tracy comes out on dry tires as well, and with a full course yellow, the front of the field should close up, and we should have a spectacular finish here at Portland. Back at the Budweiser GI Joe's 200 at Portland International. Look, the sun now shines in part of the race course, just as it did at the start of this race. We are under a full course caution while they get several disabled cars off of the running surface, and that should set up a tremendous sprint to the finish. 102 laps of scheduled distance. We are running on lap 93 right now. Just before the yellow came out, Nigel Mansell had cut Emerson Fittipaldi's lead drastically. In fact, he was at lap 90 sitting 31 seconds behind, and a lap later had cut that by 6 seconds to 25 seconds. So here is the order. Fittipaldi, Mansell, Paul Tracy, Bobby Rahal. 5th is Mario Andretti, then Allenser Jr., then Raul Boesel in 7th. 8th is Robbie Gordon, Mike Croft, Scott Goodyear is 10th. 11th, Arie Luyendyk, then Jimmy Vasser. Olivier Briard is 13th. Ross Bentley is 14th. Danny Sullivan is 15th. Hiro Matsushita, who was one of the disabled cars, is in 16th position in the scoring right now. So we still run under the full course yellow, and when they come back, it should be a run to the finish. Back at Portland International, still under yellow. The sun is shining down. And here's the way. We gave you the order of where they're lined up, but physically on the race course, there is Fittipaldi. You have to go 9 cars back to find Nigel Mansell, who is the 2nd place car, and then 2 more cars to find 3rd place Paul Tracy. But coming back to the green, Jan Vikas, you can really try to start your passing fairly early.
You're right, Paul. It's not the same as the start at the beginning of the race. What you have, and it was spoken about this morning in the drivers' meeting, it's not the same. When the green flag flies, you can pass as many cars as you want. It has nothing to do with the start-finish line. So with 9 cars in between, what they'll do is they'll actually be on the radios with their crew that are right across from the green flag. As soon as they get that radio call, they'll be on the gas. Let's check in with Gary Gerould.
Interesting that Paul was talking about the 9 cars between Fittipaldi and Mansell. The car that's right in front of Mansell, teammate Mario Andretti. There have been conversations here in both of the Newman Haas pits, I believe, regarding whether or not Mario would give way to Mansell. The radio, no comment whatsoever. I don't know if Mario, I don't think he wants to give away that spot.
Yeah, what? I think the radio's broken here. I can't hear you.
Come on now, Mario. Let's have a nice bit of gentleman's professional courtesy here. Move over and let the line be through.
Come on, Mario. Don't give him anything. Split decision here in the booth. So Fittipaldi, followed by Mansell, followed by Tracy. But great distance to make up between Mansell and Fittipaldi. Mansell, without question, will be the man to watch as the green flag comes out again.
And he will make the moves. Mansell in this type of situation will give it everything to try and catch that red and white Marlboro car, even though you have those 9 cars ahead of him. Now, I don't think those cars will hold Mansell up that much. They won't just move out of the way, but I mean, they know it's not a fight for position. And I think it's going to be incredible to watch Mansell here. Now, Jan mentioned it earlier. As soon as the flag goes green at the start of stand, if Mansell's back here on the back straight, he can start racing immediately and start passing.
So the field now somewhat cumbersome, moves through the corner, varying braking speeds here. And now they can begin to pick up the throttle as they watch for the green flag. There it is. The pace car comes down the pit area. Fittipaldi accelerates, looking back for Nigel. Way over to the inside of the course. He looks for position.
He's got one.
Mario lets him through.
He's got 2. Now he's behind Lyondike. Needs to get by him as soon as possible.
And Lyondike will be tough. You have to tiptoe here because just offline it's still very wet.
Okay,
Look at this.
He's got 4. He's got 5 cars. Almost 5 cars. He got 4.
Briard came off the course at the end of the corner because